One of the weirdest parts about discovering infidelity is that it doesn't just stay contained to the moment that you discovered it, but it feels like it reaches backwards like this weird claw into the past and starts changing everything. Suddenly, randomly, you see a picture and you're thinking about the vacation that you took 3 years ago, or the anniversary dinner, or the night that they came home late, or the period where they seemed distant, or the time they told you they loved you and everything felt completely normal. And these memories that used to feel really warm can suddenly feel contaminated. Conversations that once seemed pretty insignificant and minor suddenly feel like, wait, what was actually going on there? What's fundamentally happening is that new meaning is being assigned to old memories. And it is very destabilizing because part of our identity is based on our memories. And let's try to describe it this way. Imagine you've spent 20 years reading a book. You know the characters, you understand why things happened, you understand the flow of the story, like from chapter to chapter, how it builds up. And then, one day, somebody hands you a missing chapter. And that chapter changes the meaning of everything that came before it. Now you're frantically flipping backward through the pages of the book. Like, wait, when they said this there, did that actually mean something else? Or was this happening then? The words printed on the earlier pages, those are still the same. But because you now have this missing chapter, this missing information, you're now rereading those chapters with this new insight. And that's what can be so cruel about the experience of having this trauma from betrayal, is it's not just introducing something painful that you have to navigate right now, but it's also introducing all of this uncertainty about things that you thought were settled. And for a lot of people, that can actually be more disturbing, more confusing, and more difficult to get past than the sexual act of betrayal. It's the difference between something terrible happened, my dignity was hurt, my partner disrespected me. Like, that's one thing, but I don't even know what my life means anymore. I don't know what life I've been living. That's an existential, identity level disruption. The reason why this can happen is because your brain isn't just a recording device. It's not just saying, okay, here is everything that happened in order. It's a meaning making machine. And so you have this mental model in your head of, okay, this is my spouse, this is my family, these are the people that love me, these are the people I feel safe around. When they say they're going to work, I don't have to question that. When we make decisions together, I'm able to believe that we both have our best interests at heart and all the relevant information is at hand. And when you discover the infidelity, there's this massive prediction error. Your brain was expecting one reality and suddenly receives evidence of a completely different one. And when there's a big enough prediction error, your brain feels the need to update everything. It says, well, I can't be caught not knowing who's safe and who isn't, what's real and what isn't. So I have to go back and perform this massive update. And sometimes I'll get on calls with my clients, and right when I'm about to log on, Zoom or my computer is saying, you have to update this. And it's so frustrating to be going through an update when you have an important call coming up. And it's the same thing in your life. Like, you're trying to navigate all the aftermath of betrayal, and you have this update in your mind going on almost 24/7. It's like, as soon as it seems like it's done updating, oh, got another round of updates to do. And just like with the annoying technology needing to be updated, one of the best things that I can say is to stop fighting it. Like, if my computer says it needs an update, I don't really know enough about how computers work to fight that. I'm like, fine, just do your update. Same thing with our brains. Like, stop trying to fight the fact that there is new information and you probably do need to reassess things. Stop fighting the fact that the story has changed, that your past has changed, that the meaning attached to your partner, your relationship, your marriage has changed. A lot of suffering comes from desperately trying to keep a part of it intact. I think that it might be best to just wipe it all out and start from scratch, to say, okay, let me look at all this with fresh eyes based on what's actually real. Yes, some of it might be real, but I would over index on saying, let's just get rid of it all. Let's strip all of the meaning out of this. And then based on their behavior, if I am choosing to reconcile, I can add some back in. Or even if I leave, I'm able to, after I get some distance from it, let some of the meaning return to it. But I think that you need to be ruthlessly brave in saying, I'm willing to admit that this potentially was all wrong. The more that you can get comfortable with saying that your perception of it at the time was wrong, the less fear there will be around this process. Like, let your brain go, let your computer go, let it do the update, and trust that there's nothing so essential that you have to hold on to. You know, it's one of my fears every now and then when my computer starts doing a bunch of updates. Like, what if there's an important file that somehow gets lost? You have to trust at some level that the machine knows what it's doing, and that if a file does get deleted, maybe you didn't actually need it. If the love was real, it will survive the update. If they're still genuinely a trustworthy person or deserve to be trusted again at some point, then the important memories, the important events will last. But let this purging process happen. Now, people can sometimes go too far the other way and like try to force themselves into hating everything. Like, you don't have to force it either. It doesn't mean that the entire relationship was a lie, but allow yourself to entertain that possibility. And part of why I say that isn't because, again, that's what the truth is. Part of why I'm saying this is because you will probably never really know. So you have to be at peace with both options. You might not never know what your partner was thinking during that one trip. You might never know whether one particular conversation as opposed to another was sincere. You might never know precisely when their feelings changed. And newsflash, they might not know either. It might not be that they aren't telling you because they're hiding it from you. That's a possibility. But it might simply be that neither of you can know. There's a proverb that talks about how a human's motives are like a deep well, and it takes someone with a lot of wisdom to be able to pull it out. Motives are not always this super clear, obvious thing, especially when you're going through a really hard time. So trying to make all of your ability to survive the aftermath of infidelity depend on your partner who cheated on you, who clearly was not in a good headspace, being able to go back through every single event and explain exactly what was going on in their own mind, or depending on your own ability to subjectively guess what their internal experience was, is just a recipe for disaster. How could either of you possibly accomplish that task perfectly? You have to make broader statements. You have to make more sweeping generalizations. There can be some comfort in saying, I think that it began roughly around the time of this event, and then it culminated with the infidelity in the affair. Like, those types of giving meaning to the past at a higher level, at a chapter by chapter level, that can be very helpful. But a big part of this is becoming comfortable with the unknown and with the worst case scenario. Because your brain is thinking right now, if I understand everything, I'll be safe. But complete knowledge is not what makes you feel safe. It's your belief that you can navigate both the unknown and the painful. And if you don't fully believe that yet, start small. Start navigating small, painful, or unknown situations now. Like, be brave in small ways now. Build that evidence in your own life, whether it's going out to apply for a job when you haven't had a job for several years, or having an uncomfortable conversation with them and maintaining a boundary when you've kind of let them walk all over you for several years. Being brave in the present can help you be brave in facing what your past really means.